welcome to the channel. Today we have a really cool setup. Over the weekend I had to do a corporate interview and I was lazy and I kind of left the whole thing up before Peyton can break it down. I'm going to take you through the process and Ron is going to be our subject over there. So it's always good to have a human and go from there.
I'm almost human, so
almost human.
We'll let it pass this time.
So we had to start with a camera. So here's the old camera. We got it about eye level. And so you can always do a quick test where you just kind of come up here and take your hand, put it right against your chest and walk over here and see where his eyes are. So if you look at my hand and where his eyes are, look at that, eye level, all right? So now you ask, what are we gonna learn about lighting today, boys and girls? We're gonna learn low key. So low key lighting. So if you wanna pick up a shot of this monitor right here, you can see that there's no light but the ambient light we used for me. And of course I probably got really bright there. So right now this is our production monitor. This is our sound mixer. This is a teleprompter computer. And so I'm up to the point now that I need to light my subject, right? So first thing I'm gonna do is whenever you light, just start with one light at a time, right? So here, let's start with one light. Boom, backlight. Wow, now it's not quite on him, so I'm just gonna move it in position. And you can kind of see, we got a little hair, we got on shoulders, and let's go take a look at the monitor. Now, we're gonna record this little bit right here. So we got a little bit of a hair light going. And I'm gonna say okay. And I'm gonna record. So you see right here, at the very top, a little bit of hair light. Now, I'm gonna add a key light. Boom. Now I have a key light. 45-degree angle. And then if you can see in the face, on the monitor, look at that, key light. So we have a key light, and now you see how great the little backlight is, right? So we have a hair light, backlight, whatever you want to call it. We call it a hard light source because the apparent light is no bigger than my hand, right? Now if you come over here, here's a light source too, but the apparent size of this light is bigger, okay? And the apparent size has a big thing to do with the face. So if we come over here, and you can say right here, the light 3/4 coming down on his face, you can impress your friends with the following definition of this word, the penumbra. You're gonna ask me, what is the penumbra? I will now show you. The penumbra is where light and shadow meet, right there. So if you come over here and get a, you're doing a great job, Ron. This is some of Ron's best video work.
I'm such a
So right there is where the light goes into shadow, okay? Now what you're gonna ask yourself, well, that's pretty cool. You see the way it looks on him with this light source, but can we make it softer if we made that apparent light source bigger? So the size of the light source, okay? And we can, with my trusty diffusion sheet on a C-stand. So I'll take this and I'll go right in front of this light source right here, okay? And now it does two things. It's gonna decrease the light value on his face, okay? But the penumbra is even gonna look softer. And now to compensate, you can do two things. Open up your aperture, right? Because you just put something in front of the light. Or with this old school scoop light, I still have one more switch. Kabam! Yeah! So I just added 1K of light. So now we have 2,000 watts of hot light hitting our subject 3/4. And if you look at the nice soft light source, we just turn that light source much bigger, right? And that's why that glow is. And all kinds of diffusion materials like 216 and frost, they all have different qualities of them. But the most important thing you have to remember is a soft light is only a soft light because of the relationship to the distance of the subject and the size of the light source, right? So if I took this and moved it 100 feet away and shot a really powerful light, it'd become a hard light. Why is that? Because the apparent light source is much smaller to the subject, right? And the reason this is when you take a hard light source, it's only coming from one angle. So the light's coming one angle, right? Like this. This soft light here comes from all kinds of angles. From way up here, so we have light coming here, light coming here, light coming here. It's light, it's my light beams, right? But that's filling in all the pores and shadows on his face. That's what a big apparent light source will do for you. All right, now what happens is, let's go look to the monitor over there. So if you look at the monitor, it might be too moody. Okay, well, we have a key light, we have a background light. Well, let's add some fill. Well, look what I got here, a white wall. Look what I have here, 1K. You gotta love the old school, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this 1K and just flip it on. Bam! Now that 1K is just firing over on that little white foam core wall that we roll around the studio for lighting. Let's go back to the monitor to check out how that affects the subject, huh? Oh. Now, if you look at that. It's all right, he's mugging. That's some of his best work. You can see now, if he's looking at the camera, how much more we have light right there. Now I'm gonna turn it off and you just watch the difference here. Watch, here we go. Turning it off, right? Turn it off right there, boom. See the difference there? It's subtle, but it's there. Let me put it back on. Boom. Oh, and how about this? If we want more hair light, there we go. Take one more value of light away, and I can open up the aperture. And now you can see that the hair light comes in even stronger, right? Because what we do, we lower the value of this, which is great. All right, so now we got all the lighting, which is looking pretty dang cool. But now you're gonna ask me what I call the shift from villain to hero. This is the coolest thing. And honestly, it's one of my rules, right? So if I take my key light, and let me just go ahead and take this down for a second, which is my fill light. Now if you look at his face, he looks good, he looks nice, right? Like, kind of normal, right? But now what happens if maybe he has some bad business dealings, we're doing a movie? Or maybe this is a documentary and we want to be interviewing the guy that maybe is guilty. Well, let's add some guilt because, it's 2021 and everything's fake, so might as well add to it, help yourself. So I'm gonna lower this light. I'm gonna lower this nice and gentle, and I'm gonna go again. Now, if you look at him, all we did was lower the light. So now look at the face on him. See the face? Looks a little more guilty. Look at that, looks more serious, see? Right to camera, he looks very serious, right? And now, if you really wanna be cray-cray, which I can't say that because apparently I'm too old to say those cool words. That's what my daughter says. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna literally take this light off, and hopefully it won't wreck too bad. I'm gonna turn that light off, and we're gonna show you the circle of hero to villain light that I like to use. And why do you wanna use this sometimes? Well, I tell you why. Because you just wanna add a component to your subject, and you wanna just know all the stuff. So I have a light in my hand, human light hand. And now, let's turn this light off, right? Now, a light from above, all right? Ooh. Now look at this, a light from the angle, right? And now you can also tell you that if you look at the penumbra, we all know what that is now.
But call me names.
All right, see the shadow mark right here? Right down the, see it's hard. It's weird, 2021. All right, so 3/4, right? Closed loop, because we see the light. And then wait for that, see the shadow of his nose? Coming right underneath his eye? People refer to that as Rembrandt. And this is split lighting. It comes from one side, right? And then if I'm gonna, like I said, interview this guy and he's guilty, I might go right there. And you can tell how distracting that nose shadow is, all right? Well, if you take this on, because the apparent light source is much bigger, that nose shadow kind of goes away, doesn't it? It's still there, but it's not like this. And what you don't want to do is never take a hard light source with a soft light source and key it and fill it this way. That's horrible. Absolutely horrible. People do that all the time. Don't do this. Why would you? Because now you're still casting shadows going this way. So you got double shadows going on. You can do that and, it won't look as good.
That's the look you're going for.
Yeah, but why would you do that? Don't be an idiot. So, what did we learn today? We learned that you only need a few lights to make up lighting. Or if you just want to add a sense of seriousness to the interview, maybe light them from just slightly down or sideways. And we also learned about diffusion. We learned about the apparent light source. And we also are learning that hot lights, when you hold them for a while, kind of get hot. So now everybody wants to do LED lighting. But you know what? You can still light with hot lights. Nothing wrong with it. They look great.
Except they're hot.
But they're hot.
They're so hot.
So, I think that's all the stuff on lighting for the interview for this time. Maybe we'll go over sound again, but any questions, Ron?
All right, well, what if the light, like say you're doing like, it's not a horror, but like the light source is natural coming from underneath, that's like an artificial light?
Well, you want to kill it or redirect it. Now, what we can do in an upcoming episode, we'll go over to what we call negative fill, which is, we can even make this even blacker. Okay, we're here. You know what? We'll end with negative fill. I'll go grab a negative fill. We'll go use it real quick. So, negative fill. Now, this is black. And black sucks the light away. Now look at his face. We have no light, no fill. This is just ambient bounce in the studio. But look what happens. Woo. Okay. Yep, there it is. So what we want to do is look at this density here, right? So this is really helpful if you have light, but if you really are in a bright environment, like inside of a hospital or something, you have to add some contrast. So there's his face, here I come, bam, and you can see how it just instantly starts to suck away the light on his side of the black. You can see it right there.
It's sucking away my light, Mark.
Yep. So it's kind of hard to see. It's not that much, because this actually has a sheen to it.
It's like a vampire.
So this actually has a sheen. So it's not as good as what we call Duvetine, which is black Duvetine. I guess now I have to show it to you because this is not as good. Because this actually has a little bit of reflection to it. All right, so stand by. Let me get that.
Okay. Can somebody please help me? Call my parents, call my sister, call anybody. Mark is, shh, here he comes.
Okay, Duvetine. Here is piece of black. There's him. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. And you see how that is doing that? It's sucking away his shadow side. Negative fill works in a lot more ambient light. For sure, when you're outside, you'll see a bigger difference. Because right now we're already set up for like a key, and low key lighting here with the black background. And that's it. So you can do it by what you see on the monitor. So there you go. We review low key lighting using 3 light sources and fill and diffusion and all the stuff. Negative fill, yeah. Any questions? Ask Ron.
Just ask Ron.
Ask Ron. That's it. Until next episode. Thanks, guys.
Make sure you like and subscribe and share and help me.